Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. We'll have a bit of a chat about what's going on in Spain. We'll go into the press and check out what is happening there. Then at the end of the video, we'll go into the comment section and take a look at what is happening there also. Now, I apologize for the quality of the video today. The sun is behind me. Normally the sun should be in front of the subject, but I don't have a better place to record the video today. So let's get into the news, and the Plus Ultra scandal is again making headlines. A judge yesterday ordered that the government suspend the bailout package to that airline company. I think it was back in March or April when this story first made headlines in Spain. As we know, the government decided to give some 54 million euros to this company because they considered it to be a strategic company, even though it only operates a handful of flights to and from Spain. I think that most of the flights that the company operates are to places like Caracas in Venezuela, other Latin American countries, and apparently they take care of routes that other airline companies just don't do. I think some other airline companies complained about the rescue package. I think Ryanair filed an official complaint, and of course the opposition parties in Spain wanted to know why this company was considered strategic. And then it came to light that allegedly the owners of the company have close relations with the Maduro government in Venezuela and also with the Cuban regime. So alarm bells started to sound, and a judge in Madrid opened an investigation. Now, the government said yesterday that if they suspend this bailout package, they're going to lose some 19 million euros, because I imagine that that is the amount that they have already given to the company and it's been spent. And if this company is financially insolvent, which a lot of people think it is, that money has gone forever. So the Plus Ultra scandal in Spain goes on and on and on, and as we know, it's one of the main reasons why a couple of weeks ago former Transport Minister José Luis Ábalos was substituted. Now, as we know, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez is doing a tour of the United States at the moment, trying to convince some of the big investment funds that Spain is still a good place to leave their money. A lot of these funds invested quite heavily in Spain after the 2008 housing bubble burst in Spain. They bought up a lot of the rotten property assets that Spanish banks had on their books at the time. And I think that's where the majority of foreign investment came from in Spain during that 10-year period after the housing bubble crash. And I think these funds are not happy with some of the proposals that have been put forward by the coalition government over the years when it comes to the rental market and also labour market reforms. And apparently the government has put on the back burner today an anti-eviction law that they had in the pipeline. So it seems that when these investment funds start to put on the pressure, Sánchez listens. Now, a milestone when it comes to the vaccination plan in Spain was reached yesterday, and it is that 25 million people in Spain have now completed vaccination. It was a target that the government set a couple of months ago, and they have been able to meet that target. And remember that Spain is trying to get 70% of the population vaccinated by the end of August. I think I mentioned in yesterday's video that Prime Minister Sánchez appeared on a couple of television programs there in the United States, and when asked about the vaccination campaign in Spain, he was very upbeat, saying that Spain didn't have an anti-vax movement like some other countries, and that is going to help Spain overcome the health crisis faster than other countries. And I think Spain is now currently third only behind Canada and the United Kingdom when it comes to the amount of people that are fully vaccinated. Now, the autonomous community of Galicia has announced that they are going to ask people for a COVID certificate before they can enter the interior parts of bars and restaurants in that community. I think the Canary Islands are talking about doing something similar, and I imagine it's only a question of time before the other autonomous communities in Spain do something similar. Here in this part of Portugal, where I am at the moment, you also have to show proof of vaccination or a negative PCR if you want to have lunch or dinner inside a restaurant, but that is only at weekends. It doesn't happen from Monday to Thursday. So it's becoming more and more difficult for people that are not vaccinated to have lunch or dinner outside of home. And the final piece of news we'll look at today is that the Health Ministry has just announced that COVID vaccines will have to be had every year. And the Health Minister, Ms. Darias, has also said today that more than likely people that are completely vaccinated in Spain will have to have a booster shot sometime in the near future. So plenty of news around today when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines, and I'm sure that's going to stir a few people up. Now let's go into the comment section and check out what is happening there. And we'll have a look at this one here from Michael. Of course it would be good. How many Spanish people walk into Gibraltar every day to work? No work in La Linea, just people, drug, tobacco and petrol smuggling. Yeah, Michael, thanks for the comment, and obviously referring to the fact that Spain's new Foreign Minister, Mr. Álvarez, travelled to the UK the other day to meet with his British counterpart, and the main topic of discussion was Gibraltar, or as they say in Spanish, Gibraltar. And that is one of the big problems down there in La Linea. There isn't a lot of work. I think unemployment is very, very high, around the 40% mark in that part of Spain. And a lot of people do cross the border every day to work in the Peñón. La Linea also has a serious problem with drug smuggling. A lot of drugs come into that part of Spain from Morocco, and with 40% unemployment, what do we expect? One here from Arthur. Good to see that you have managed to visit Portugal. I lived in Melgaço when working on a hydroelectric dam across Rio Minho. Do you know this area? On the subject of siesta, when working in Madrid I found it useful as I would spend time in the Prado. Never did get used to going back to the office at 4 p.m, nor eating late at 8 p.m. I expect you are familiar with my favourite eating place in Plaza Mayor, which served an excellent roast suckling pig. Happy days. Enjoy your daily updates. Keep it going. Yeah, Arthur, thanks for the comment, and good to see that you enjoy the daily updates. I don't know that part of Portugal that you mentioned there. I imagine it's in the north, because I think that is where the Rio Minho is. But for more reports, it is a very beautiful part of the country. And timetables in Spain are a difficult thing for a lot of people to get used to, especially late dining times. Not easy to have dinner at 8, 9 or 10 p.m. when you're used to having dinner around 6:30 or 7. And when it comes to that place that you mentioned there in Madrid's Plaza Mayor to eat roast suckling pig, I'm not familiar with that place either. One here from Muppet Keeper. I don't know how Spanish people do it. They seem to be at work by 9 a.m, the siesta at 2 p.m, back at work at 5 p.m, then dinner at 10 p.m, stay up until 4 a.m, and then repeat. Do they not need sleep? Yeah, Muppet Keeper, thanks for the comment. And as I just said, very difficult to get used to timetables in Spain, especially after lunch. Everything seems to get pushed back, like the dinner time that you mentioned there, 10 p.m, or even later at weekends, sometimes 11 p.m. And primetime television in Spain sometimes doesn't start until 10:30 p.m. and finishes around 1:30 a.m. So I don't know how some people do it, and to be honest, I've never been able to work it out. One here from Ivan. Stu, do you travel with the iMac to edit your videos or use the iPad? Yeah, Van, thanks for the comment, and I do travel with my iMac because it is the best tool I have to edit videos on. You can edit videos on an iPad, but it's not the same experience. I don't think there's an iPad version of the editing software that I use, Final Cut Pro. There might be one on the cards, but I don't think it's available yet. And it's also a lot easier to edit videos on a big screen, not like the small screen that the iPad has. So basically my iMac follows me everywhere I go. And finally, one here from Martin. Hi Stuart, I have been learning Spanish for about 5 years. I'm English. I had a teacher visit my house once a week for an hour for 3 years. She spent time in the north of Spain. I also do Duolingo and other bits. When I come here to San Juan de los Terrenos, it sounds like a different language. Muchas gracias por el video. Yeah, Martin, thanks for the comment and thanks for sharing your experience about how you learn Spanish. There are lots of ways to learn a language nowadays, like the app you mentioned there. Technology has been a real help when it comes to language learning. And in my opinion, the best way to learn a language nowadays is probably a mix between the old traditional methods and the new modern methods like the ones you mentioned there. In fact, I might even make a video on what I think are the best ways to learn a language in 2021 and beyond. On that note, I'll wrap the video up because the sun is burning the back of my neck. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.